Good morning, students. I think you are getting my voice. Just wait 2 to 3 minutes, then we will start the session. Actually, I am facing some laptop issue. Okay, just give me uh, 1 minute. Okay. Now I think you are getting the PPT. It is visible. The PPT is visible. PPT here. PPT is visible or not? I am not getting any responses from you people. Hello. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the last class, actually, we discussed about some characteristics of LED. Okay, so here one thing. Actually, I am facing network issue and I am trying to demonstrate this PPT here. Okay, so if you are facing any network issue or if you are not getting the appropriate voice of mine, so after the recorded version, I will provide you the recorded version, and in that recorded version, you just go through, and I think it will be very clear to all of you. Okay, so first one is the direct and indirect bandgap materials. This is the picture for the case of direct and indirect. Okay, so first of all, I think you already know the basic electronics and basic electronics in the earlier semester. You already know the direct and indirect band gap materials, and what is direct semiconductor, what is indirect semiconductor. So in semiconductor physics, the band gap of a semiconductor can be of two basic type. One is direct band gap and another is indirect band gap. Okay, the left hand figure for the direct band gap and the right hand figure is for the indirect band gap. And here you can see this is for the conduction band and this is for the valence band. So if you recall the energy band diagram of this, so in that sense there is a two band, conduction band and the valence band, and the minimum energy states in the conduction band and the maximum energy states in the valence band are each characterized by a certain crystal moment. So here basically the conduction band and the valence bands are characterized by a certain crystal moment. So that is denoted here. It may be it may be k vector. Okay, so k vector. So if the k vector is different, the material has an indirect band gap. So here, if you observe the case, so in this case, the the here the k vector is different. So in that sense, the material has an indirect gap, and the band gap is called direct. So if the crystal momentums or k vector of the electron and holes in the same in both the conduction and valence band, so in that sense it is called the direct semiconductor. So here you can see this are and this is the conduction band, the uppermost, and this is the valence band is almost in the same adjournment here in the same level. So the difference of k vector is nothing, but in the case of here you can see this is the k vector is different compared to this valence band. Here the band gap is different, so that's why this is the indirect gap. Okay, so here actually in an indirect gap, this is an indirect gap. Okay, and so here in an indirect gap, a photon cannot be emitted because the electron must pass through an intermediate state and transfer the momentum to the crystal lattice. Okay, so when EV or EG means energy gap, so our band gap. So EG greater than H means in that sense only the electron photon emitted. Okay, so the examples of a direct band gap materials, here this is the direct band gap and this is the indirect band gap. So here the example of indirect here the examples of direct band gap materials include the amorphous silicon and some GaAs, gallium arsenide. These are the examples of direct band gap. Now for the case of indirect band gap, that is the crystalline silicon and germanium. These are the indirect band gap example. Okay, so next one thing here you can see in the second slide actually. Just 1 minute. Okay, so here you can see from this direct and indirect band gap materials. Here actually we are writing here the properties. So here the band gap represent the minimum energy difference between the top of the valence band and bottom of the conduction band. Just few minutes ago, you just seen the energy band diagram. Okay, and now the top of the valence band and the bottom of the conduction band are not generally at the same value of the electron momentum for the case of this. And here it is written that in a direct band of semiconductor, the top of the valence band and the conduction band occurs at the same value of momentum. So here, if you observe again this figure, here you can see, here you can easily see, here this is the case for the direct band gap semiconductor, and here the top of the valence band, this is the top of the valence band and the bottom of the conduction band, and occur at the same value of the momentum. This is the same value of the momentum. But in the case of indirect band graph, you can see here the maximum energy of the valence band occurs here, and this is at a different value of the momentum to the minimum in the conduction band energy. So there is a difference, and this is called based on the k value, k vector. Okay, so now the question is that LED. In the last class, we already started the optical resources. So LED, the LED light emitting diode is a semiconductor device actually. So this emits the incoherent light through the spontaneous emission when the current is passing through it. And typically the LED for the 850 nanometer region is fabricated using the gallium arsenide and AlGaAs. So particularly for this gallium arsenide and aluminum gallium arsenide, for this only the LED is fabricated for the 850 nanometer region. And for the case of indium gallium arsenide phosphate and indium phosphate, so for this the LED for the 1300 nm and 1500 nm, and the basic LED types used for the fiber optic communication, that is surface emitting LED and edge emitting LED and superluminescent LED diode. Now, one thing in the last class we already discussed, that is the surface emitting LED. So now today we will discuss the edge emitting LED and the functionality of the light emitting diode. So I am not going through this slide because you just read in your home and you can easily understand. So this slide. So yeah, this is a surface emitting LED. Okay, this is a surface structure of LED. In the last class, we already covered the surface emitting LED. So here we will discuss, that is the edge emitting LED. So this is actually the slide for the edge emitting LED. And this edge emitting the demand for optical source for the longer distance and higher bandwidth system operating at the longer wavelength. Okay, to the development of edge LED. So we just go through now the edge LED. Okay, so here this is the structure for the edge emitting LED. Here to reduce the losses caused by the absorption in the active layer. So you already know what is the absorption. Whenever we discuss the losses, so in that part we already discussed the attenuation based mainly, or attenuation caused. For the case of attenuation, there is mainly the four losses. We already discussed that four losses. What are the losses for the case of attenuation? What are the losses for the case of attenuation? What losses actually involved for the case of attenuation? Okay. Again, I am not repeating the same thing here. Okay. So now, so yes, the edge emitting LED is mainly to reduce the losses caused by the absorption in the active layer. And one thing to make the beam more directional, here the light is collected from the edge uh, of the LED. Okay, and such device is called the edge emitting LED or ELED. In the short form, you can write ELED. One thing that here it consists mainly of an active region which is in the source of incoherent light and two guiding layers. Two guiding layers, the refractive index, that is here the refractive index of guiding layers is lower than the active region but higher than the outer surface layer. Okay, so this is the thing, and one thing that the waveguide channel is formed, and one thing the optical radiation is directed onto the fiber. Now for the case of edge emitting layer or edge emitting LED, the emission pattern is more directional, providing improve the coupling efficiency. In the last, we already discussed that is the surface emitting LED. So if we compare the surface emitting LED and edge emitting LED, so here we are observing that the emission pattern is more concentrated, providing the improved coupling efficiency. And here the beam, actually the beam is Lambertian in the plane parallel to the junction, but diverges more slowly in the plane perpendicular to the junction. And this thing, and in this plane actually the beam divergence is limited. Okay, beam divergence is limited. These are the thing for the case of edge emitting LED. One thing, and features of edge emitting LED, that is here I'm writing. Just a minute. Number one, that is linear relation between optical output and current. This is the features of edge emitting LED. Now, for this case here, the modulation bandwidth is much larger. Third one, that is for the case of edge emitting, here ELED have better coupling efficiency than surface emitter. Number four is that ELED are temperature sensitive. Number 5, that is the spectral width is 25 to 400 nanometer for lambda, that is 0.8 to 0.9 mu m. Okay, so this is the actually the features for the age emitting LED. So what are the uses of this age emitting LED? So normally here the LED is suited for the short range, narrow and the medium bandwidth links, and long distance analog links, and suitable for the digital systems up to 140 MB per second. So these are the uses for this age emitting LED. Okay. Next, this is the properties you can say. Now the energy band diagram. So here actually with this energy band diagram we will discuss the functionality of the LED, how the actually LEDs occurs. So here actually I think you already go through the energy band diagram in the earlier semester. So here one thing that this is the uppermost, this is a conduction band and this is a valence band. Okay. Now one thing in the P side, actually here one thing, here the electrons from the case of N side, so this electron actually injected in the P side. So actually here the electron is going towards this. Okay, so actually electron is going towards from inside to P side, and from this P side conduction band to P side valence band, when the electron is going through, in that sense, and in that sense, if Eg greater than H mu, if Eg greater than H mu, in that sense only the photon emission occurs. Okay, in that sense photon emission occurs and the LED can blink. Okay, so when the LED is blink, so in that sense the LED is going through from this P side conduction band to P side conduction band to P side valence band. Okay, one thing. And the case when the electron is going through this from this to this, so there may be a chance to create hole, because the electron is moving from conduction band to valence band. Okay, so when there is a hole, so there is also a chance of recombination. Okay, because there is some electron and there is some now holes, so the so there may be a possibility to recombination process. So due to this recombination process, or due to this recombination 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 this actually affects the efficiency of a laser. Okay, so when actually the LED created, in that sense our aim is to minimize the recombination process, because if we cannot minimize the recombination, in that sense it will affect the efficiency of the LED. Okay, now the next is that, yes, now we will discuss some rate equation, quantum efficiency and the power of LED. Okay, so first thing is that That is, here it is written that when there is no external carrier injection, so the excess density decays the exponentially due to the electron hole combination. Just few minutes ago, we already discussed these things. So here nt equals to n naught e to the power minus t by tau. Here n is the excess carrier density and n naught is the initial injected excess electron density and tau is the carrier lifetime. So you already know are the basic concept what is the forward bias and the reverse bias. So if we observe here, so in that sense actually we are getting, and here it is written that when there is no external carrier injection, because here actually there is no matrices, or when we are not giving the external biasing. So if the excess density decays the exponentially due to the electron and hole recombination. Okay, so here the expression is written. Now is the bulk recombination rate. Bulk recombination rate, it is denoted by R. Okay, it is denoted by R. So R equals to, here it is minus dn by dt. You just remember this formula, because this formula will help us to solve the mathematical problem. Okay, so here the R is the bulk recombination rate. Recombination rate R equals to minus dn by dt, and we can also write in the expression of n by tau. So tau is the carrier lifetime. You already know carrier means there are two types in semiconductor carriers. One is hole and another is electron. Okay. So one thing here, that R equals to, here it is written bulk recombination rate, and bulk recombination rate equals to R equals to the radiative recombination rate RR and non-radiative recombination rate, that is RNR. Sorry, NR. Okay, this is the radiative recombination rate and this is the non-radiative recombination rate. Now, can you tell me what is the radiative recombination rate and what is the non-radiative recombination rate? Anyone? Hello? Can anyone tell me what is radiative recombination rate and what is non-radiative recombination rate? I am just giving you 1 minute. Radiative recombination rate and what is non-radiative recombination rate? Radiative recombination rate means you just if you just few minutes ago you observe the energy band diagram. So in the energy band diagram you see that when in the case of p side, the electron is moving from conduction band to valence band, and in that sense when eg greater than h mu, so if the condition is satisfied, so in that sense the uh, photon radiated, and due to this photon radiation actually or emission, the led we can see the leds blink. Okay, so this is the case of radiative recombination rate, but in the case of non-radiative recombination rate, actually in the case of non-radiative recombination rate, the phonon occurs. Okay, and there is no you can say there is no photon radiation. Only this is the photon radiation, and due to this is only the for the case of vibration. Okay, so for the bulk recombination rate, it is mainly depends on two parameters. One is radiative recombination rate, and that is non-radiative recombination rate. Now the next thing is that, yeah, so bulk recombination rate, that is r equals to 1 by tau. R equals to 1 by tau equals to radiative recombination rate, that is r equals to 1 by tau r plus non-radiative recombination rate. So here in the form r equals to r plus r nr. Now here in the term of 1 by tau, we can write here 1 by tau r plus 1 by tau nr. Okay, so this is the rate equation or the recombination rate. So based on these two parameters, we can easily calculate the bulk recombination rate. Now one thing, when the external supply current density J, the rate equation for this electron hole combination, in that sense, the when we are applying the external supply current density of J, the rate equation of the electron hole combination, that is d in t by dt. So here J is the current density of and here q is the charge, and d is the q is the charge of the electron, and d is the thickness of the recombination rate. Okay, minus n by tau. So n by tau. Okay, so here one thing, just if we observe here, the tau means the carrier lifetime. Tau means the carrier lifetime. Okay, and here you can see in equilibrium condition dn by dt, you just equilibrium condition dn by dt equals to 0. So if dn by dt, here the dn by dt equals to 0, equilibrium condition, if we observe it is 0, so it is j by qt minus n tau. So here from this we can calculate that n equals to j tau by qd. Okay, so from this we can easily calculate whenever we are getting in equilibrium condition dn by dt equals to 0, so n equals to j tau by qd. Okay, now the next topic, that is the internal quantum efficiency and the optical power. So internal quantum efficiency, that is here it is denoted eta int for internal. So it is rr by rr plus rnr. rr means what? Hello,
Sir, recombination rate.
rr means recombination rate.
Sir, radiation recombination rate.
Yes, radiative recombination rate, and here in the denominator it is rr plus rnr. So radiative recombination rate plus non-radiative recombination rates, and in the tau form we are just getting here it is tau nr by tau r plus tau nr. So from this we are getting that is the tau by tau r. Okay, so here from this equation we can easily calculate the internal quantum efficiency in the active region. Now one thing, that optical power. So there is a when the LED is blinking, we are applying there is a connection, so there is a power, so we are getting the optical power. So optical power mainly generated internally in the active region in the LED. Okay, so this is the p is for power and in for the internal. So the optical power here mainly it is denoted by p in and internal optical power, and here it is equals to eta in I by Q H mu. Okay, so here the n eta is the, what is the sorry, n eta means, sorry, eta means the internal quantum efficiency. So internal quantum efficiency into I by Q H mu. Okay, so you already know mu equals to C by lambda. The next step, we just put mu equals to C by lambda. So if we put the C by lambda, so we can write here the eta in HCI by Q lambda. Okay, and here I is the injected current to the active region. Now, the next slide, that is the external quantum efficiency. This is the formula for the external quantum efficiency. Here, eta ext equals to the photon emitted from the LED by LED internally generated photon. Okay, this is the formula for the external quantum efficiency. And before going to start this just I am requesting all the participants write your name for the attendance. Very quick. Already I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but there is 6 students. Okay, so here you can see in the bottom portion it is written that in order to calculate the external quantum efficiency, we need to consider the reflection effect at the surface of the LED. And if we consider the LED structure as two simple 2D slab waveguide, only the light falling within the cone defined by the critical angle will be emitted from an LED. Now, the external quantum efficiency. So when here you can see when the light is propagating, so when light is actually charge one you can say light propagates. So if there is an obstacle, so due to this obstacle or due to this any particle, it may be reflected. So here this is the reflected wave and this is the emitted wave. So when this light is emitted towards, so here this point, some portion of the light is reflected to this here, and this is the emitted wave. Okay, now here it is written, that is the external quantum efficiency formula, that is 1 by 4 pi integration 0 to pi c q phi 2 pi sin phi d phi. Okay, so now according to the Fresnel's transmission coefficient, T0 equals to 4 n1 n2 by n1 plus n2 whole square. Here n1 and n2 is the refractive index. Now one thing, if